Hey guys, this is Andrew with Figure Fandom Review, and today we're going to be reviewing the SH Figuarts Kaiju number 8 from Kaiju number 8. Really cool series. If you hadn't, checked it out, I highly recommend it. I actually love the series a lot right now. It's one of my favorite anime of the season. To be fair, I was not planning on getting any of the figures from this line, but I ended up loving the anime so much that I went and binge read the entire manga, up to date so far, it's still going on, as well as decided I would actually get into the figure line. So here it is, more money coming out of my pocket, but for all my viewers who are into the series, this is a blessing. At least I can, test these out for you and give you my opinion. So I guess it is a good thing in the long run. Anyways, really interesting figure. Pretty cool. I like some things about this figure, and there are other things that I don't like, but mostly positive. So with that being said, let's go ahead, let's take him off the stand, and let's just get right into it. Okay, so now that we get him off the stand, let's just dive right into the aesthetics. So aesthetically speaking, I really like this figure a lot. I think they did a wonderful job. I love the color, the blue color that he has, like in certain parts of his body, the lining. I just think it's really cool looking. It's a really nice, vibrant blue. It really pops, and without that vibrancy, the figure would look pretty dull and pretty flat. So I know that this is actually from the, obviously from the source material. That's why it has a color. But I just love the paint work that they used. It just matches up very well, and I think it's really cool. All together, as far as paint work is concerned, mine is painted very well, so I like that. No issues. There's paint work that's on the spines back here. Looks pretty clean. Paint work on the faceplate is really clean as well, and just the paint work in the lining, I really don't have any issues with at all. It's pretty clean. So they did a great job of painting the figure. As for shading, there is no white shading is I guess what you'd use, like a lighter colored shading to kind of make the lining and everything else pop. They don't use that. A similar figure to this would be something like the Guts Berserker figure. That would kind of be a similar way of how you would shade something like this, but still I don't find myself really missing it too much. He does have a little bit of the plastics they use give off a lot of shine, so that is a little bit of an unfortunate where it comes to the look, but overall pretty cool. He's actually really tall, especially for SH Figuarts. He's one of their taller figures that, of a humanoid size, I guess I would say. But yeah, really cool. So that being said, guys, let's dive right into the articulation. Okay, so for articulation, let's just dive into this one. So this figure got great articulation in some aspects and very limiting articulation in other aspects, and you'll see as we get down to it. First, we'll start, of course, with the top, working our way down. So for the head, you do get a little bit of head tilt, not a whole lot, and that's mainly actually in his mask. Like his mask tilts a little bit too, and I'll explain how that's put on in a second. So you get just a little bit of head tilt, not a whole lot, unfortunately. It's enough to get the expressions that you want, though, so it's not horrible, but it just feels very limiting when you're doing it with your hand. It doesn't feel like it's going very far, but it still, I guess, kind of gets the point across of what you're trying to do, like maybe him looking like, what's going on? So I just wish they could have articulated that a little bit better. Now, he does get, of course, left and right head movement, no problem. Now, what I was mentioning when I said that his face kind of helps you with the articulation, the face is actually put on in a very interesting way this time around. So it's on a ball peg. So that's kind of crazy, right? So very different than how SH Figuarts usually puts their face on. Sets of the face. I don't know why I said puts their face on. I'm sorry, I'm tired. But a little different than how they usually do it. But overall, it does work on this figure. And the good thing is, I think the reason they did that is because the way you would have to design this figure, is that the face would probably constantly pop off with the way it's shaped. So they did this to keep the face attached so that when you're posing the figure, you don't have to worry about the face falling off or, coming undone constantly. And I think this does work, though. I think in some other figures, this might be a new method of doing that. I think it'd be pretty cool to test this out with some more figures, because this actually works really well. And I had now once with the posing that I was doing, did the face come off in any way. Now, continuing on with the articulation, he can't look back at all very well, but the face does tilt up, so you do get the look that he's looking back. So see, it's mainly in the face, again, where you're getting that range from. So that does still work, though, so a win's a win. He can look down, actually, very, very well. So he does look down a fair amount, which is cool. He does have articulation back here in the, I guess, I don't know what you want to call them, but the scales or whatever on the back of his head. They do move up and down, so you can kind of like adjust them if you want. So pretty cool. But altogether, not too many problems with it. I just, like I said, the tilting is a little weird. It feels like it's not going very far, but when I look at it, it still looks decent. So that was my only issue. Moving on to the arms. So for the arms, you do get basically exactly 90 degrees out when you push his arms out. So not bad. He does have a bicep swivel, which works very, very well, so no problems there. He does get a very good double jointed elbow, so that works very good. He does have your typical ball peg wrist joint, which is a standard, for SH Figuarts, no problem. Good mobility though, no issues. Now, he does have a butterfly joint, so I'll explain this to you. So the butterfly joint right here does come out like a little ball. It's a little weird looking, but it's not too gappy, surprisingly. And the thing is, you get crazy range. Like, that is really wild. Like you saw in the first image, I mean, my man can stretch, he can get those deep deltoid stretches, no problem. So just very, very good range with his butterfly joint. Really, really pleased with that. And of course, for those of you who want to do loop-de-loops, you can do the loop-de-loops just fine with his arms. But yeah, really, really good arm range. Pretty happy. Now, for the torso, we do get a really interesting segment here. So if you see his back here, right away as I saw this, I kind of knew what the problem was going to be because of the spining. And I'll flat out say it. He does not move back pretty much at all. He could straighten his back to be straight up, but he's not pushing this really back at all any further than that. Not without you possibly breaking something, and I'm not going to do that because he's kind of pricey. So yeah, you don't get that. However, of course, you do get your tilt. It does get gappy, so just beware. He will gap. He is a gappy in his torso, and you can tilt to the other side as well. So tilt is fine. He can turn, and again, like I said, the gapping is pretty significant here. But he can crunch forward very well because he has an upper chest cut and he has a lower abdominal cut as well. So he can crunch a decent amount, and with that and his face, he could pretty much look at his you know what I'm saying. So yeah, he could check himself out. Now, for his legs, moving down, his legs, just going to be blunt. Going out to the side, you're not going to get a whole lot of range. It's kind of like, meh, it's mediocre. But he does have a thigh cut right here. He does get good, forward tilt, so he could kick out very, very well. So that actually is a plus. Going back, he could do very well as well, and he doesn't have too much of an issue with that butt diaper thing that what is it? I can't even think of it. The 3.0s. God, took a while to get that out. That the 3.0s usually have. They kind of narrowed his butt so that when you want to kick back, his butt isn't in the way of you doing that. So really, really good job on that. But like I said, kicking out to the side is probably not going to be the best, so just beware. Also, this little scale up here, the top one, does rotate, so you do have rotation on that. Now, going to his knees, he does get a wonderful double jointed knee. so he gets really good range out of that, so not bad. For his ankles, he does have an ankle rocker. Whoops, I always love how it does that. He does have an ankle rocker, guys, so really good. He can get good forward tilt, no problem, as well as good back tilt. And for his toe hinge, he does have a toe hinge, which works very well. And he can even grip it forward a little bit because these are, you know, actual toes. So it's not just like shoes or anything. Oops, really? There. Yeah, so it's not just actual shoes. He does have toes that can grip forward. So not bad. The only issue I have with his feet that I feel is that he's a little hard to balance sometimes, which I don't think I would have trouble with a figure like this. But sometimes it feels like his ankles are a little loose. I'm not sure if that's just my figure or if everybody else is feeling that, but his ankles do feel a little bit soft, like he's gonna careen forward a lot. And I don't know if that's mainly in the ankles or the toe hinge, because the toe hinge does feel kind of loose as well. So it could be really the toe hinge that's kind of giving way under the weight of his body. And maybe I'm confusing that with the ankles. So yeah, but for articulation, he's pretty decent. You know, like I said, a couple issues, but nothing that's major. He kind of reminds me a lot of Guts from the other Berserk line. So yeah, let's move on to the accessories. All right, guys. So for accessories, we do get a screaming or shouting face. We do get a side-eyed face looking to his left. We do get his comedic, shocked, scared, or surprised face. We do get a pair of clawing or gripping fingers, or hands, sorry. We do get a mutated forearm for his right forearm. And we do get a mutated weaponized leg for his right leg or shin. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. SH Figuarts Kaiju number 8 from Kaiju number 8. So I think he's a cool figure, honestly. I think he's a lot of fun to mess with. I like posing this figure a lot. There's a real quality feel that I will say it does have, with the exception of the ankles. The ankles are kind of like loose feeling, and maybe that's just me, but that's how I feel on that part. But overall, he's nice to hold in hand, even with all those spikes on him and all these different like little moving pieces. He doesn't feel cheap or like he's gonna just fall apart. So I really do like that. The aesthetics are really cool. What I feel they could have done in that part, they could have given us some shading. I don't think that would have hurt to shade his legs maybe a little bit, and maybe use a less shinier plastic on certain parts. But for the most part, though, I am pleased with how he looks. So, you know, good job on that. Articulation is fairly decent. There are some issues, like with the legs, of course. Like I said, his legs don't go out too far to the side, and he cannot move back whatsoever on his back, his torso range. But outside of that, he has an amazing butterfly joint. So really good job there. Everything else works fairly well, and most of the poses that you're going to want to put him in, you're going to be able to do so. So really cool job. Altogether, a pretty fun figure. There are some lack of accessories, though. The hands, they only gave us one other pair of hands, which is ridiculous. You could have given us at least, even if he doesn't use them, just chopping hands or something. Maybe like a pointing finger, an effect piece, maybe with some lightning effects, because he does use a lot of like lightning based kind of like punches and kicks. So they could have done that. So I'm gonna knock him on that, because there was no reason not to at least give us a little bit more on the accessory side of it. So altogether, I'm gonna rate this a 7 out of 10. It's a fun figure, and kind of a surprise considering I really wasn't going to dive into this line at all. But I'm actually happy that I did, and I'm looking forward to what they bring out with the next ones. So for the hiatus I've been on, sorry about this, guys. I've been out for about a month. This is the last. I haven't posted a video in like 30 days. Just been a lot going on. I do work outside of this, so unfortunately I can't be a full-time content creator yet, but that did play a hand in me not being able to make some videos, so sorry about that. I do have a whole host of videos coming down the pipeline, though, so just be on the lookout. And again, thank you for everybody who's been subscribing. Thank you for all the people who have been commenting. You know, you guys are all awesome. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Thank you. So with that being said, as always, I would like you guys to be safe. And as always, keep collecting. I'll catch you guys later.